I'm Donovan Morgan, and today we have a special guest, one of the best sports agents in the country, Philip Lowe. Welcome to the Beyond the Buzzer.
Appreciate you having me, my man.
Yes, sir. For those who may not know you, can you tell us about your journey into becoming a sports agent and founding Lowe Sports?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So, I'm from originally from the Chicago area. I relocated to Arizona roughly about 12 years ago. Coming up in Chicago, I've always been entrenched and always loved the game of basketball. As I played the game of basketball at Erie High School, located on the south side of Chicago. I also coached at Erie High School, and then I went on once I relocated here to Arizona, I coached at a small school called Enterprise. So over the years, I've always been within the game of basketball, been helping young men and young women achieve their dreams about getting to the Division I level. Me being a former educator, a teacher, a dean, a principal, I was always big on education. I always loved my passion for sports, and so I always just say I put the two together. So Lowe Sports is not just about representing young student athletes, but it's also about teaching them the things that they should consider and the questions they should ask along this basketball journey, because there's a lot of things they need to consider and a lot of questions they need to ask as they choose the proper place for them to attend college for the next 4 years. So with being an educator and with being in the game of basketball, a former coach, I've just always helped kids, like I said, achieve their dreams and to get there. And so I built relationships with college coaches along the players I've had. And then one day I just turned it into a business. And so I realized that, hey, the information that I'm giving and the service that I'm providing is valuable to student athletes and their families, and again, getting them college scholarships. So I turned it into a business. And so putting those two things together, my passion for sports and my passion for education, I formed Lowe Sports.
Did you see yourself always being? Did you see yourself being a sports agent when you was younger?
At one point in time, like any young athlete, the dream is always to go to the NBA. But I always have a quote that I live by. I just say, hey, just because you're not in the game does not mean you're not in the game. So, meaning that just because you don't play basketball does not mean that you can't be within the business of basketball. And so, once that kind of dream went away for me, yes, I did. Growing up, I did want to be a sports agent. My cousin was a top athlete growing up, dual athlete, football and basketball. He was 6'10", went to the University of Georgia State, was going to have the opportunity to actually make it to the NBA as he was on draft boards. Unfortunately, he was going to practice one day, got hit by a car, and pronounced him dead. And so from there, the dream kind of went away. Because we always had this dream that he'll make it to the NBA and I'll be his agent. And once, he passed, that dream just went away from me. And so I always kind of not laugh, but just think, how funny it is that God brought this back around for me, because it was me and his dream, and now I'm living out that dream by providing those opportunities to others.
Yeah, I definitely. I'm kind of similar myself. Like I don't play basketball no more. I played when I was in high school, so I definitely want to be a part of the game, but I just don't want to play basketball, if that makes sense.
Yep.
What inspired you to specifically work with college athletes in the NIL space?
Again, I was a high school basketball coach, right? So when you're a high school basketball coach, and we were at Erie High School located south side of Chicago, and we were one of the predominant schools within the city. We had good players, right? So I would always be the ones that the coaches, because I was younger at that time, more energetic, and than the other two coaches who was a little bit older and didn't really want to go on college visits and kind of co-mingle with the coaches. They gave me the opportunity to do that. So they see that I was a young and passionate coach. They see at one point I wanted to be a college coach. So they will have me interact with our players and take them on college visits so I can, start networking and introducing myself to those college coaches. And so that's how I kind of build up my network, and that's what kind of got me, into it.
Can you tell me how many kids you have in your sports agency, Low Sports?
Currently, we have 26 athletes. Those athletes are all Division One or JUCO prospects. 25 of them are young men. One of them is a young lady, as we just opened up our women's division 2 months ago. And so we're now starting to branch out and start representing more young ladies. But yeah, we have a total of 26 people that we represent.
And can you tell me how the progress is going for them for their season? Because I know they enter in the playoffs soon.
Yeah, our athletes are doing really, really well. Again, like I said, out of those 26 athletes, we have 3 of them who are high schoolers. The rest of them, like I said, are all JUCO prospects and Division One prospects, are in Division One. So those young men who are at the JUCO level, they're having great years. Most of them will make it to their conference tournament. Some of them will make it to the national tournament, depending on what they do in their conference tournament, but it's looking good for them. But all of them, more importantly, what I'm proud about is getting D1 interest. For the young lady, she's doing well. Her high school, her senior year of her high school season, she's signed to University of San Diego. So we're happy about that. And then the other young men who are at the Division One level, some of them have faced some trials and tribulations coming from the JUCO level. They had to understand what Division One basketball was really like. So they had to learn, right? You're going to get bigger, stronger, faster. The language is different. The level the intensity is different. Again, so being at those higher levels, they had to adapt, right? So some of them are doing okay, and some of them, like, they had some rough seasons, if I'm being honest. But again, I expect them to work hard this off season and have a bounce back year, because now that they have been through it, now they know what to expect. And then the young lady is not University of San Diego, it's University of UCSD, so University of California, San Diego.
Okay, that's definitely good to hear. For our listeners, can you break down what NIL means?
NIL. So the NIL, again, it is revenue generated from. So it's your name, image, likeness. I'm sorry. So NIL still the abbreviation means name, image, and likeness, and you'll be able to get paid from your name, literally your name, your image, meaning photos, pictures, videos, and your likeness, meaning like your following. You can get paid from different companies, businesses, corporate sponsors for your name, image, or likeness. Student athletes also get paid by revenue sharing. Revenue sharing coming directly from the school, meaning, hey, this particular school has this amount of budget. This budget can be allotted to different amounts for players to play. People don't like to call it a pay for play, but it's definitely a pay to play. So you can get money from the revenue sharing or collective that way as well.
How has NIL changed the game for college athletes compared to when you first started?
It's changing a lot, right? So a lot of athletes, first it was about just you getting a scholarship, you going somewhere for 4 years, you getting your education, I get to go to school for free, and that was the goal, right? Now, that is not the goal for most athletes. Some of it should still be the goal, but it's not. I believe that players should get paid. Coaches are getting paid. The university is getting paid. They're getting paid off their name, image, and likeness by jersey sales, posters, bobbleheads, different shirts, merchandise, things of that nature, products. So the players should get paid. So I'm happy that they are, not because it's my business, but I'm happy that they're getting paid because people are getting paid off the work of their back. But it has changed the game because a lot of student athletes only care about the money now. So they put the hard work They don't understand, a lot of them, the hard work and dedication and the expectation that comes with this money is like any job. Like, hey, you have to perform, in order to get this money. Some of these kids are getting this money and they're not performing, right? So it definitely has changed the game. The way that the coaches treat the players, their attitude towards them, it's a business. So I'm going to treat you like you're a professional. I'm giving you money to do a job. Can you do your job or not? If you cannot do your job, then I need to let you go at the end of the year because you can't do your job. Or you're going to get paid off your performance. So if your performance was high at your previous school, then, or right now during our season, when it's time for the contract negotiation, you will get more money. If it is not, then your money will get cut. So it's definitely changed the game because now coaches have to treat these young men and young women like professionals, and some of them are ready for it, but a lot of them are not.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you because I think these players are getting paid like off their last name, and I don't think they should. I definitely think they should like do what they have to do on the court.
Most definitely.
What are some of the biggest misconceptions athletes or parents have about NIL?
Yeah, every student athlete or every child or every player deserves money. Like, all of them do not deserve to get paid. And so what have you done for me lately, business? So what have you done? So for high schoolers, that's not like the 5-star or 4 or 5-star kids. It's like, what have you really done? What have you really produced? And even some of those kids, they might be getting paid, but they think they should get paid way more. But it's like, hey, you haven't been on the college level yet. So once you're on the college level and you prove yourself, okay, great. But if you haven't been on the college level, or you haven't proven yourself, or you're on the college level and your numbers are not great, meaning your stats are not great, then you didn't prove yourself. So the misconception is they believe just because you play college basketball, then you should get paid. No, you should not get paid. It's a what have you done for me lately business, and you need to produce. If you produce, like in any regular job field, then yes, you should get paid. If you do not produce, then your money should be lower, or you should not get paid.
What makes an athlete marketable beyond just a performance on the court?
Their likeness, right? That's the part of NIL, name, image, and likeness. So, like your personality, your charisma, your character. What do you stand for? What is your morals, values, and beliefs? All those different things makes you marketable to a certain demographic, right? And so, letting people know who you are as a person, not just a basketball player. Letting people know what you stand for, as a person, that's what makes you marketable.
How do you think athletes should manage their money when receiving NIL deals? Because I know, as I see on social media, they spend it on chains, cars, stuff like they're not really investing in it. So how do you think they should manage their money?
Yeah, they are spending it on materialistic things, right? They're spending it if it's a young man and a young lady. They're spending it on, like you said, cars. They're spending it on chains. They're spending it on items that they didn't have because they're just coming into this newfound money, right? And some of that, you should take a small portion and you should do that, right? Like you deserve it. If you work hard for it, you reap the benefits of your labor. It's like, hey, go splurge a little bit. Go take a trip. Go do something that you've never done before. But you should be putting that money into stocks and bonds if you're into that. You could be putting that money into real estate, buying a home, fixing and flipping a home, selling it, buying a home, renting it out, stuff that'll make you more money. So when you ask me the question, what should they do with your money? It's like any individual. You make money to make more money. You shouldn't just make money to spend money, right? You make money to make more money, and then you spend money. So that's my answer to that.
What advice would you give an athlete who doesn't have huge following but still want to monetize their brand?
It's not about, even myself, like I don't have a huge following, but it's about the people that you have. So I always say quality over quantity. You know what I mean? So what are the quality of people that's following you? What's the quality of people call it your tribe. Who's your tribe? So that number doesn't have to be big, but you find your group, the people that believe in your moral values, the people who align with who you are as a person or your interests or your hobbies. And that number could be small. I'm just saying, like, that number could be 5,000. But that's how you monetize it, like, right? Like, you find the people in you guys range who rock with you, and if they rock with you, like, they'll buy into whatever you're selling.
5 years from now, what do you think NIL will look like?
Right now it's the Wild Wild West, so it's no cap. They're trying to put a cap on it. There's no cap on it. 5 years from now, it has to be some legislation, regulations to it, because if it doesn't, it's going to be wild. So, my right side says it might be like some rules, regulations, policies, procedures, and make it tighter, put a cap on the money. My left side says, it's the Wild Wild West, and the money's going to be crazy. If kids are right now getting $1 million, $2 million, you know what I mean? The money's only going to go up. That's what I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be crazy too, because these people's getting 1 million, 2 million, so the money's going to go up. So I'm excited to see how it's going to be in the future for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, last question. The question everybody's been waiting for. How do you feel about professional players coming back to college?
They need to carry their ass back to being a professional, right? So, hey, you had your time is up. Some people will say, well, they still have 1 year, 2 years eligibility left. No, if you chose to go pro and leave college early, then you're a pro. Just because you didn't make it, just because you're not doing as well as you thought you were going to do, don't try to come back down. Like, give the opportunity to the younger bunch. There's a lot of high school kids that's not being able to get on college rosters right now because there's so many older people coming back to school. You know what I mean? Now, I'm always for someone coming back to school, getting their degree, things like that, but to play college sports when you are already a professional and you played in a professional game, no. You need to work harder at being a professional, not trying to come back to college. And I just had this conversation with a college coach. People don't understand, even some of those players that have come back or trying to come back, the people who have come back, they're not performing as well as people thought they were going to perform. Right? Like, yeah, they might be stronger, but they're not faster. The people that's in college are more hungrier because they haven't got to any professional level. That person has made it to a professional level. You know what I mean? They're coming back down, so they automatically think, oh yeah, I'm just gonna kill these kids or these babies. And it's not happening. So my answer to that, if you gave up your eligibility and you went professional, you should not be allowed to come back to college.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you should be allowed to come back to college either, because if you declare for the draft, I feel like you think you're ready and you should just keep performing, like G League or NBA, like keep progressing. Like, I feel like it's a kind of a downgrade instead of an upgrade. And then pretty much they come back but for the money, and I feel like they shouldn't get redrafted. How do you feel about that? You think they should get redrafted after they come back to college?
You're saying like if they come back to college and then they go back?
Yeah, so they was in college. They declared for the draft. They did the draft process, all that. They got drafted in NBA team.
And that's another thing. That's something else that is going to have to be regulated, right? Like, that's a good question. Like, what happens? No one has talked about that. What happens when the kid who declared for the draft, like you said, comes back to college? Can they re-enter the draft? Can they get redrafted? I don't think anybody has challenged that yet, but that's a good one that I'll throw out there on my podcast to see what people's thoughts are. But my thoughts are, no, you've already been a pro. So if they do let you back in college, you for sure shouldn't be able to come back into the draft. If a team picks you up as a free agent, great, but you shouldn't be able to come back to the draft at all.
If you could give one piece of advice to high school athletes preparing for college athletics today, what would it be?
So watch college basketball. I do a workshop called the Next Up program where it teaches kids about the realities of college basketball and how to get recruited in this climate and what to expect when you get to college. And a lot of college, let me go back. A lot of student athletes who want to especially be at the Division I level do not watch college basketball. They watch highlights. So if they watch college basketball, they will see that you have to be bigger, stronger, faster. Your IQ has to be there. You need to watch a lot of film, not only of yourself, but the opponent as a team, the opponent as the individual player that you will be guarding. So all of these things, they need to look at the speed of it, how much tougher it is. You have to understand the language. A lot of these kids don't even know the language, right? So you have to do all these things in order to prepare yourself. And they have to understand that it's a job. You have practice. You have individual workouts. You have class. You have treatment. You have community service. If you are lucky enough to have NIL, you have NIL obligations that you have to do, whether that's an autograph signing or you have to go to a dinner. Like, there's so many things. You have to eat properly. You have to take care of your body. You have to sleep. So it's so many things that student athletes have to do and need to prepare in order to get themselves at that level. And I just explained some of those things.
Definitely, you have to prepare, you have to study the game, etc. You gotta watch the game in order to be a college basketball athlete, in my opinion. Can you give me your Final Four for March Madness?
Final Four, we're gonna go with one of my favorite teams, the Michigan Wolverines. Next, we're gonna go with another team that I love how they play, is the Houston Cougars. I think they will make it. Next, I probably will go with, once Koa P is back. I know they've been on a 2-game losing streak, but I like the University of Arizona as well. And then, the Duke Blue Devils. That's my Final Four. Duke, Arizona, Houston, Michigan. If Arizona does not make it, I'll say my wild card would probably have to be, so I'm kind of looking at the rankings right now.
Okay, take your time.
Yep. This year, my wild card, depending on how they're matched up, will be Michigan State. That would probably be my wild card.
Michigan State. What do you think about Illinois? You from Illinois, man?
Yeah, I don't know if they got it at the end of the day. I think Michigan State has it. UConn looks good. I just don't think they can beat none of the Big Four. But again, this weekend, Arizona plays Houston, Michigan plays Duke on Saturday. You guys are tuned in. That's my Final Four right there. So we'll see how they match up against each other.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking into Duke game. I like your picks though. Your picks were pretty solid. Phil, thank you for breaking down the business beyond the brand. NIL isn't just about money. What you say? What you was gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say I appreciate you guys, having me. I always say one thing about Low Sports, like you just stated, is like, hey, we don't chase money, we chase opportunities. So with our athletes, for anyone who's listening or might want any representation, it's like, hey, our goal is to get you the highest amount of money, that's for you, but foremost for first things first is to make sure you're at the right place with the right fit with the right people. And then if you ultimately are who I think you are, and you are who you think you are, then the money will come. So that's why I say we don't chase money, we chase opportunities. We care about getting you on that floor, playing 20 to 25 minutes plus. And if you're the player that we think you are, then you will be successful, and then the money will come. So I appreciate you guys having me on. If anyone needs to contact me, please let me know. We'd love to sit down and have a meeting with any student athletes that are serious about taking their game to the next level.
Okay, can you tell our listeners about like any of your socials so they can get in contact with you?
Yeah, so you can contact me on IG. My personal is at PLOWEJR, so at PLO Jr., or on Instagram at Low Sports Group, which is Low LOWE Sports SPORTS Group GROUP, and Low Sports Group. That's on Twitter as well.
We appreciate you joining us on Beyond the Buzzer.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Love you too.